What's going on, everyone? Jeff here from TheFloatLife, and today we're bringing you guys a tire review. And it's not just any tire, it's the brand new Craft and Ride Burris collab tire, the Cloud. So Nick and Mike over at Craft and Ride were nice enough to send us not one, but two of these new Cloud tires, and I'm pretty stoked on it. So we're gonna jump into all the details, and we're gonna talk about it as far as it goes for like an all-around XR tire, and it is a slick. So we're gonna put it up against the sort of the crowd favorite best all-around slick XR tire out there right now, which would be the Whisper, which is a Hoosier tire. That's the Hoosier Flight Fins Whisper tire. So we're gonna see if the Cloud is better than the Whisper. Can it dethrone it? We'll see, we'll find out. Stay tuned, let's go. All right, well, let's unwrap this sucker and see what we got here. That is pretty cool. They got some rad packaging here. I don't think anyone else has done packaging for a tire before, so kudos, Nick and Mike, Craft and Ride, shout out. That's pretty cool vibes. I like that. Okay, so first thing you notice with this tire is it feels really soft and really pliable. So it's very similar to the Whisper in that way. If you guys have ever unboxed the Whisper, you know it's, I mean, compared to like a Vega, you know, or really any other tire that's gonna have a harder durometer, these soft durometer tires are really, really pliable right out the gate. And so what's cool about that is when it comes to install, they slide right on the hub super easy and you're not struggling with it. You don't really have to muscle it too much. So that's pretty cool. Second thing you notice is just really how tacky and pliable it is. So that means it's got a really soft durometer on it. It almost feels softer, to be honest with you, than like the D10 Hoosiers or the SS11 Burris tires. So it's really soft, really tacky. That's gonna equate to a lot of grip on the road and off the road too. But it probably will have a little bit of an effect when it comes to the longevity of the tire, because as you know, the harder the tire, typically the longer it's gonna last. The softer the tire, usually the better the performance out the gate, but it's not gonna last as long. So depends on what you want. We'll see. I don't know, maybe this tire is here for a good time, not a long time. Let's find out. We're gonna put some miles on it and see what's going on. So as far as sizing goes, it is an 11.66, so pretty standard size. The Vega is an 11.5, 6.5, 6. And then like the Street Pro, the Whisper, those tires, those are 11.66s as well. So just so happens I've got an old Street Pro right here. So let's line it up and see how we're looking as far as width goes. And it looks very, very similar. I mean, it might be just a hair wider, but to be honest with you, it looks pretty much exactly the same width as a Street Pro. But I can tell you right now, it definitely rides different than a Street Pro because we've got one installed right here. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. So with tires, there's really 4 key things that you wanna hit. It's smoothness, like how smooth is the ride, torque, carvability, and stability. And so let's go ahead and rank the Cloud on how it hits on all those. So with the Cloud on smoothness of the ride, I mean, it's an 11 out of 10. It's by far the smoothest tire I've ever ridden. And you really owe that to the really soft compound. I mean, if you feel it, it's almost a sponge. It's so soft. So it's a really smooth ride. But the smoother the ride and the softer the compound that you get, typically that leads to a shorter life on the tire, right? Because the material is gonna wear away a little bit quicker. But if you ask me, I mean, I would rather have a tire that rides really great that I have to change out a couple 100 miles before than a tire that's gonna last me longer that I'm just not gonna enjoy. So I think it's definitely worth the trade-off to go with the softer compound if you're looking for a really smooth ride. As far as carvability goes, they did a pretty good job with making it carvy. I will say it is a little less nimble than the Whisper or the Street Pro for sure, but that comes with a trade-off for stability. So this tire is going to be more stable than both of those tires as well. So you can see the centerline flat spot here is pretty hefty. It's got a really nice centerline flat spot, and that's gonna hold you stable when you're digging deep into high-speed turns or cruising straight at really high speeds. That stability is nice, and it's a really nice thing to have, especially off-road when you're smashing chunky trails. You definitely want that stability. So as far as a stability rating on this tire, I would rank it right up there close to, if not almost comparable to the Vega. To be honest with you, it's plenty stable. It does that really, really well. It's one of the more stable tires that you can get on the XR without sacrificing too much carvability, because the most stable you can possibly get is obviously going to be a big flat brick. But if you do that and you max out the stability, you're not going to have any carvability. So what's nice about the Cloud is they have a really nice blend of the two. So it's not the absolute most stable and it's not the absolute most carvable. But to be honest with you, if you slide one direction, you'll lose the other one. So you kind of want to blend somewhere in the middle if you're looking for a good all-around tire for the street or the trail. So as far as carvability goes, you do have some nice carve in this tire. I wouldn't say it's nearly as carvable as any of the 5.5s or even quite as carvable as the Whisper, but I've heard a lot of people say that the Whisper is a little bit too carvy for them, and I've heard the same thing with the Street Pro as well. It's really nimble, so it's gonna be good for cutting back and forth, doing some freestyle tricks, things like that, but it might not be as good smashing down rocky, gnarly trails, and that's where you want something with a little bit more stability, and that's where the Cloud really shines through, is with that stability that still has the ability to carve. So it's a really nice blend of the two, and I like it for that. All right, so let's talk torque, the last of them. So what affects the torque really are going to be two things: the diameter of the tire and the weight of the tire. So as far as diameter goes, it's really, really similar to the Street Pro. It's really, really similar to the Whisper. It's an 11.66 and it's pretty standard 11.66. So really nothing there. It's got some nice snap to it. It's got some good torque. It's not gonna be as snappy as if you put like an Extra Rad on there or one of the 5.5s. Those are gonna be a little bit snappier, but it does have some really nice snap to it. And I think a big reason for that is gonna be the weight. I haven't weighed these tires at all yet, but you can tell just right out the gate that it is pretty darn light of a tire. And so I think that definitely helps with the weight savings. It gives you a nice amount of torque. I didn't notice this tire being sluggish on me at all. You know, if you've ridden some bigger tires before, you'll notice when you really hammer the nose, it takes a second to catch up, which isn't a big deal if you're smashing trails downhill all the time. But when you want that quick snap going up curbs, or you want some good torque smashing uphill, you definitely want something that's gonna really be able to pull for you. And so this tire's got some nice uphill pull to it. It's got some good snap. I really like it for that. I would say it's a little bit above average as far as torque goes. So they did a good job on that one. No complaints there. All right, so it all comes down to this. Which one's better, the Whisper or the Cloud? They're both really good tires. It's really impossible to pick a winner, and it totally depends on your riding style and what you're looking for in a tire. So the Whisper's a great tire because it's light, it's torquey, it's really carvy, it's nice and snappy, it's got some pretty good stability, and it's just a good tire all around. Cloud, same thing. Really great tire, it's got some decent carve, it's really, really stable, which is nice. It'll soak up every single bump, it's nice and soft, it's good and torquey. So comparing the two, I would say if you're looking for a little bit more carvability and you want your board to turn a little bit sharper and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of stability for that, go with the Whisper. If you're looking for something a little bit more stable that'll still soak up all the bumps, really nice torque, super smooth ride, and you're willing to give up just a little bit of carvability for a little bit extra stability, go with the Cloud. All in all, both great tires. I would highly suggest either one of them, but Mike, Nick over at Craft and Ride, Kurt Burris over at Burris, you guys really knocked it out of the park with the Cloud. I enjoy the tire. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Super fun one to ride, great addition to anyone's XR. So hope that was some helpful information for you guys. Hit me up down in the comments if you guys have any additional questions. I will answer every single question down there. So feel free to fire away, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Float on, my friends. Get all this dog hair off of me. What do we got in the background? Ooh, Get Bent, that's a good one. You guys should watch that one, it's really good. What's going on, everyone? Jeff here from TheFloatLife, and wait, what are we doing here today? Oh, that's right. We're here with the Cloud. The Cloud. That one sucked. Did I say Whisper? I think I might have. Anyway, torque. Why couldn't I remember torque? I couldn't remember torque. Okay, all right. And it's stability, carvability, torque, and ride, yeah, smoothness, okay. Man, that's how you review a tire right there. That guy was talented. Anyway, thanks for coming by, guys. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel over here would be super awesome. And check that video out. I heard it's a good one. Could be cool. Anyway, float on, my friends.